Oh, Lex Luthor Jr., do you share your ideas for your next build with friends or family? I stopped sharing because they would tell me it would be stupid or just too hard to do. How do you combat that negative feedback? Yeah, that is a really, really good question. You got to learn the hard way who you can and can't talk to. That is just, you don't know until you've shared. And yeah, the problem is that when you talk about something you're excited about and someone is careless with your emotions about it, and by careless, I mean they're not actually paying attention to your excitement. They're paying attention to how they would solve the problem that you're planning to solve. Which, look, that could be a fine conversation if you don't care what they think. But when we share our excitement and our enthusiasm, we make ourselves vulnerable. We're sharing something deeper than we often think. Many years ago, I offered to make something for somebody as a wedding present, and they rejected that. They told me that sounded to them like a selfish gift. And that, I swear, that floored me. It floored me because I didn't realize how vulnerable I was making myself when I was offering my time and energy to build something. But we are. And the only way to learn who is safe to talk to is to broach that subject. And if somebody is if one of your friends is someone who's always going to tell you why you can't do what you're going to do, then don't share it with them. Just don't. They don't deserve to know what your plans are. That is real. That is totally real. I absolutely have also said to people, no. I don't want to talk about the project. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to do it. I have absolutely said that. And that's born out of the experience of having someone tell me that this idea wasn't going to work, or that was a poor idea, or maybe my time could be better spent in some other way. Seriously, if somebody is sharing with you something they are excited about, your primary job as a human is to listen to them. If you have an opinion and you want to share it, you should ask them their permission. It is very rare in our lives that we actually reach out to another and say, hey, what do you think of this thing that I am doing? And if someone really asks you that, you have a deep responsibility to tell them the truth of what you think. Not just, yeah, the painting's nice. If they really want to know your aesthetic take on it, they really want to know, then you tell them. But up until then, no, I don't think your opinion matters. Not unless it's asked for. One of the phrases that I have learned to say is, hey, I have some advice if you'd like to hear it, but you didn't ask for it, so I'm totally happy to keep it to myself. And much of the time people do want to hear it, but a few times people have said, yeah, no, that's okay. And I really respect that. I think we often share our opinions too quickly with each other. And it is really important to recognize that when someone is sharing something they're excited about with you, they are vulnerable. And, some people want to take advantage of that, and that's really shitty. But, it's really important to remember how tenuous those relationships can be inside of ourselves with the things that we want to do, with the ways that we want to explore the world. Okay, we're going to have one more question here, and it is a great question. Wayne 3W says, wait. Okay. This is the last question. What does retirement mean to you? Yeah, that's a great one. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm never going to stop making stuff. I mean, retirement for me probably means I'll start saying no to traveling to go do stuff. But I still have a hard time imagining that that's going to happen. I do have a fantasy of teaching in some college and living in a lovely little town, like living in Pasadena and doing a couple semesters at Art Center, for instance. That sounds dreamy to me, but I'm not sure that's retirement. I mean, okay, let's say retirement for me means spending a lot more time passing on my knowledge. Yeah, I think that would be a great way to put it. I'm never going to stop making stuff. I'm never going to I'm never going to cease collecting objects and ideas and stories that interest me. My grandfather was a surgeon. My grandfather was Cushman Hagenson, one of the pioneers of breast cancer surgery at Columbia Presbyterian in New York. And he died in his 90s, but he was practicing into his 80s because he couldn't stop. And I really feel that. My father died when he was 70, but I think if he was alive today, he'd still be painting. I know that we have, wow. Sorry, I'm only just realizing the position of privilege I'm talking about this from, right? That I've gotten to spend the biggest portion of my life doing something I find incredibly, invigoratingly thrilling, which is building stuff and making stuff and telling stories about that. I'm always going to do that because that is an amazing thing to me. I don't work a job in which, I've got a 401k that I can cash in on after 20 years. And that is an incredible grace that I get to do that. So, when I'm asked about retirement, my hobby is my living. My living is my hobby. I'm always going to be doing that. I might not be getting paid as much for it in 30 years. That's probable. But I'm still going to be doing it. And that's real lucky grace that I get to have. And, frankly, it's not in a small part thanks to the people watching this channel right now. Seriously. This audience is the reason I get to do this. And I mean, for that, only gratitude will be gushing from this mouth as long as I get to do that. You guys, thank you so much for this hour. It was hard being away from the shop for a couple of weeks, but this is my first day back, and it is a great way to return my head back into the holy place of this church of mine to making and storytelling. And so I thank you. Be well, take good care of each other, and I will see you guys next time. This is Adam out. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.